Yo, what is good, my anime people? What is good, yo? Dr. Stone. Um, Let me just get to the very end. I feel like we just saw the first disqualification that we'll probably be seeing in this because not only did this girl do something that, was supposed to be frowned upon, she did it, and it wound up being the thing that would have won this guy the match. So I got a bad feeling in my gut that this isn't going to end out the way that I think it is, right? Like, I feel like it's probably going to be one of those things now where whatever happens after this episode is probably not what we're going to be expecting, and everybody's still probably going to have to, someone's still going to have to fight this guy. I feel like that just makes sense to me, right, from what we've heard. And if not, then whatever's, but if so, yeah, we're definitely fighting. We're definitely watching the rest of the bracket or something like that with Magnum in it. But overall, this episode, and knowing that our squad is actually dang near done with making the pill, and all they need to do is actually win this alcohol for becoming the village chief or whatever the case. If they could do that, they get alcohol that they need. They gotten everything up to that point at this current moment, besides I think one other thing too with the alcohol I think I saw down there. But since they didn't have the alcohol, they didn't talk about the other step after having alcohol, so that's fine. But yeah, we are looking pretty good so far when it comes down to not only just this fight animation and stuff, but everything above, right? Like, the fighting looked amazing. The overall little plot of him getting glasses because the girl who needed them as well kind of could tell someone who squints, and that was a dead giveaway for her. So all pretty interesting stuff in that regard. The delivery of it was not that bad. I mean, the main thing I definitely want to hear more about, and I'm guessing that goes for everybody, is why the priestess knew of this guy, why she has any type of information about him, or because she heard that first name, she somehow knew he had a last. And I got a good feeling it's going to be something along the lines of, there was like a newspaper or like something with writing that didn't completely get destroyed, and maybe his name was on it, like saying that he did something or was somebody important, something along those lines. And that being her real like information that she has on all this stuff, because like she was saying earlier, she knew what a gorilla was. She knew, like a lot of stuff that she shouldn't have knew a name for it. Like, they could have called it anything. They could have called it Uki Uki, but instead they called it gorilla, monkey and stuff like that, as in the words from a lost time, which is kind of cool to say. But overall, that's what really kind of surprised me this week, was she knew of last names, but of course they can't just give us that information and just be done with it, right? We gotta work for that information. Not to mention, I'm so confused when it comes down to the people who are running this event, like the village chief and the girl who is like the right hand and the guy who's the left hand of the chief, and why they're gonna allow someone who's openly like talking trash about the priestess, be the guy who even gets to compete. It's kind of one of those things, like, if you ever watch Hunter x Hunter, the Hunter exam is meant for, hunters that they kind of want to help the world, or at least not help the world, but find something to hunt that could better whatever you're at hunting. So for instance, Gon, he didn't really hunt for anything but his dad, so how is that helping anybody? So that's kind of like this selfish thing that as a hunter he chose to do. And then you have people that were just cold-blooded murderers, and they were also getting the same ticket at the same time as Gon. So that's the type of gray stuff that these shows always seem to have. Like, just by the way just by the way this character who was a cold-blooded murderer was acting, I'm acting as if people haven't seen Hunter x Hunter on my channel. That is terrible. But by letting someone that cold and killing join your hunter organization, it just goes to show that anybody can join. So I thought that was a cool point for them to then in the future be like, we want to change the hunting exam so people who are killers cannot get in, and how much of a controversy that was within that world. That's what I kind of wanted to happen here, is like, oh, looks like I can marry the priestess and she'll croak before I have to kill her myself. Like, did everybody just forget Japanese and English and didn't hear this? Like, why is Chrome the only one reacting to this, right? Like, I was so confused. But overall, I guess I get it. I mean, somebody's kind of gotta be the evil guy to give the show a reason to do certain things. But it just felt really weird that they're still just going to allow this guy to do this. I mean, sure, the priestess is going to die sooner or later, but I mean, wouldn't you want somebody that supports her? I guess the strongest person in the whole entire village is a good enough support system. So, yeah, I don't know. But overall, I feel like the battle should be ending in a disqualification. I just have that sick feeling still, and it's not because it was my birthday yesterday and I completely threw up, and that's why this video is so late, which I apologize about. But to think that this would be fair would make no sense to me. And I also think it's a really, really funny way to either let Saiki or Seku, whatever the main guy's name is, I always say it wrong and I get mad. I used to call him Dr. Stone, and that's another reason why I love this community. Someone shows up and they're like, bro, don't call him Dr. Stone. Like, you'll learn why you don't need to call him Dr. Stone. Just don't call him Dr. Stone. I was like, thank you. You know, like, oh, I've been looking like an idiot for 5 episodes. Thanks, buddy. So to know that our main character could have a chance of winning, and so could the blonde kid, which I think is more likely because our main character and the blonde kid are in the same bracket, and the person who left was the blonde girl, and the person our blonde guy had to fight, I forgot who it was already. So he has to win to get to the next round, and our main character doesn't have to do anything now because his opponent, the girl with the dual wields, ran out to look if she can find the person that was quote-unquote drowning, even though she could tell the person was lying. Yeah, she still runs out and does that, which I kind of discredit this show for. I mean, I do understand, probably as like a parent and a good friend's perspective, that you would just do this. Who cares if they're lying? Because at this point, finding her tied up against a tree where there's predators everywhere, yeah, I'm not so worried about her drowning anymore as much as I'm worried about her just getting eaten while tied up to a tree. So, with all that, we get an epic battle, a pretty interesting conclusion that we don't really know the outcome yet. Let me know if you guys do think he's going to get disqualified for getting help or having anything being thrown on the battlefield. And then not only was it being thrown, but it's the only reason why he actually wins, and he specifies that. You know, he's like, this is the power of science, and it was in my corner, unlike you. It's like, oh, well, so that's what that is. Okay, you're disqualified. Science helped. I don't know. I'm interested in seeing the next week's episode, including since 2 shows just ended, and Fire Force is still on break until October, like, 12th. So, yeah, we'll definitely be seeing what pops off on this show next week, and I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. I am your boy, the Anime G, and I will definitely talk to you in the next one. So with that, peace. Bunkai. No hold bars. You're dead.